Hey, Shalom Israel. This is Priest and Officer of Bon Karab 500, reporting for South Carolina. This is the Monday night class, scripture breakdown class. And tonight we're going to be going in on 420. You know, everybody today is celebrating 420, the day that everybody sits back and smokes all the weed that they can, gets high out of their mind and just do whatever they want to. Tonight we're going to go in on it and bring out what celebrating smoking weed is really about and where that tradition really comes from and what you're really doing when you're celebrating it. You know, a lot of people like to say smoking weed helps them to meditate, helps them to deal with depression, helps to deal with stress and all type of anxiety. You don't hurt it all when it comes to smoking weed. Everybody has an excuse for it. Everybody is right now is out here smoking weed. Everybody and their grandma. You know what I'm saying? But nobody even understands that smoking weed is the worship of another God. Smoking weed angers the Most High. And also smoking weed is going to get you killed. You know what I'm saying? Because smoking weed, people don't even know that with the coronavirus going around so rapid like it is right now, that the coronavirus attacks they saying your respiratory system, which is your lungs and everything, which has to deal with your breathing. So when you're smoking weed, the only thing that you're doing is destroying your upper respiratory. You know, you're destroying your lungs. That's why when you smoke, you're coughing, because your lungs are trying to force that smoke out of it, buddy. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's doing. When you're coughing, the only thing it's doing is trying to get that smoke outside of your lungs. And then you heard our people, when they smoke the weed and start coughing, they look at it a thing of excitement, like, oh man, you know what I mean? That's some gas, that's that killer. And in all actuality, yes, it is that killer, because it's killing you. You're destroying your lungs. You're making yourself more vulnerable for the coronavirus. And the first thing is you're angering the Most High, because the children of Israel are not supposed to be smoking weed. But our people, going after their own lust, love to smoke weed. You know what I'm saying? They love to smoke weed. They want to get high. They think it helps them to deal with depression, when the only thing it does is makes it worse. Because when you're high, you're paranoid. You're looking around, trying to figure out what's going on. You know what I'm saying? When somebody makes a little bit of noise and you high, what's the first thing you're doing? Looking around, trying to figure out what's going on. What's that? Watch out, watch out. Intensifying your heart rate, making your heart have to work harder, making your blood have to pump harder. You know what I'm saying? And stress on top of that makes it even worse. So a lot of our people don't even understand that smoking the weed is not good for us, man. Smoking weed has destroyed the Black, Latino, and Native American community. How many brothers and sisters are in jail right now because of weed? Drug charges. You know what I'm saying? I know brothers in the world right now who got caught with little bags of weed, and got caught with it 3 times and ended up having to do 5 times because they got 3 different consecutive drug charges. And they got distribution, because, you know, a lot of them was selling drugs and the police knew it. And so they got caught with little amounts of weed. I mean, maybe $10, $15 worth of marijuana, and then got caught with it. And now they got what? All type of charges. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you right, the weed head always gonna say it don't do me like that. You know what I mean? You hear it all, you know what I'm saying? Now, weed don't make me like that. And they be some of the most paranoid people. You know what I'm saying? Smoking the weed, getting high, be paranoid out their mind, can't concentrate, don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Hey, shalom to everybody that's in class. We got Amawad in here. We got the sister checking in from Charleston, South Carolina. Adrian. We got Kazak Shapar. We got Erston Littlejohn. Hey, shalom to all y'all checking in, man. And like I was saying, man, you know, everybody always want to make an excuse for the weed. You know what I'm saying? My weed don't do me like that. Weed helps me to relax. Meanwhile, you taking your last little bit of money to buy weed. Taking the last $30 that you got to go buy weed. pawn and everything. You know what I'm saying? Smoking weed is no different than smoking crack. It's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's no different. Everybody's addicted. The only thing I can say about a crackhead, they're willing to say that, hey, I have a problem. But when it comes to weed, it's way worse. It's way worse. Because our people won't even say that they have a problem. They'll just continue to say, hey, I'm just smoking weed because it helps me to relax, deal with my problems. If it wasn't for the weed, I don't know how it would act. You know what I'm saying? In all actuality, it's nothing but a demon that's on you. And that demon has you relaxing, sitting around, not focusing, not concentrating on what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? If you high at your mind, what happens when the war break out? And you're high to your mind, you know what I'm saying? And you just sitting there laying there. Who are you going to protect? Who are you going to help? You high, you can't even help yourself. Only thing you're doing when you get high is making yourself more vulnerable, man. That's the only thing you're doing. Hey, Shalom Thomas. That's the only thing you're doing when you're smoking the weed is making yourself more vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? How many times have you seen people get pulled over from smoking weed or been in the car with somebody that's smoking weed and the police pull them over? They're terrified, shaking, about to have a heart attack. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, put the weed down, man. You know what I'm saying? You swallowing the weed and trying to hide it in all type of areas, stuffing it in all type of places. Good night. You know what I'm saying? Doing the most just so you can smoke your weed. You know what I'm saying? It's not that serious. But we do understand that our people do go through a lot of mental issues and problems. But you need to come here in the ISUPK so you can learn how to deal with those problems. Because smoking weed is not going to help you. The only thing smoking weed is going to do is make it worse. You know what I'm saying? Smoking weed is none of our business anyway. You see, the white man has made it a legal thing now. After all the brothers and sisters that have been locked up behind selling drugs and smoking weed, what is Esau going to do? He goes and makes it legal. And then you have all of these brothers and sisters that have been affected from this drug trade, from this weed, from this marijuana, doing 10 years, 15 years. Like I was saying, brother got 3 different drug charges. He got, what's the charge? What's the charge you get for selling drugs? Is it, I forget the name of it, but I know he had 3 different charges like that. And he caught the first 2 in the week. He caught the same 2 charges in the week. And on the third, I think when it was, like 2 months later, he caught the 3rd charge. You know what I'm saying? And that fast, man, he got sent to court. And I think they tried to give him like 5 years for that. You know, I don't know the end results of what happened to the brother because, you know, I left from that area, I moved. But I know that, man, it's not worth it, man. It's not worth the weed, man. You know, if you can, man, we're going to get us some stretches, man. We're going to get us some stretches. And we're going to go into some heavy articles that we don't pulled up about this weed smoking, man. You know, so if you can, go to Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 17. So I'm going to give y'all a little time to get to that. Give y'all a little time to get to the book of Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 17. Like Officer Natazar Gabar said, he said it's a possession. Because that's what weed does to you. It makes you possessed. You know what I'm saying? You're not yourself. You ever notice when people stop smoking weed, they get off of it? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. In possession with the intent to distribute. That's what the brother got hit with. He got hit with 3 of those same charges and ended up getting 5 years behind it, man. It's not even worth it, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Shalom, Shar. Officer Shar checking in. You know what I'm saying? Smoking weed is not worth it, man. Catching all these different drug charges. You know what I'm saying? Having to go to jail and for what? For some weed? I mean, tell me, you think it's really worth it? You mean smoking some weed, selling some weed, you think it's really worth it? It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Put the weed down, man. Come into the truth. Come into the ISUPK and learn how to fight that demon off you. You know what I'm saying? You have sisters who smoking weed and doing God knows what for it. You know what I'm saying? I don't heard stories about sisters who have men and they men might not smoke weed, but they might know another man who sells the weed and the sister go hoes on her man just so she can get high. You know what I'm saying? Sitting up with the drug dealer smoking all the weed, chilling with him, and she has a man. She has a man who's probably at work, who probably doesn't support her addiction, who probably won't give her any money because he knows that the weed is destroying her. She can't pass a drug test. You know what I'm saying? She's taking the risk with getting the children taken from DSS, because if you smoking weed and somebody calls the police on you and you have children, the police gonna enter your house. They're gonna come into your house. They're gonna see that you have children, and they're gonna call social services on you. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna call social service on you, and then child social services are gonna come to your house and take your kids because you want to get high. I've seen it with my own eyes numerous times. You know what I'm saying? Shalom to the brother Trey Davis checking in. You know what I'm saying? I don't seen it numerous times with brothers and sisters who smoke marijuana and then get hit, get the police called on them or something like that, or brothers and sisters selling drugs, and next thing you know, the police do a drug raid. Police kick the door in, come in, see that they got kids, take the kids, and then next thing you know, they do a drug test on the parents and the kids, find out that the parents both have drugs in their system, then the kids got drugs in their system. Now they take your children and put your kids in the custody of somebody you don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully the Most High allow your kids to go with your family, but them children need to be with their parents, but the kids can't even be with their parents because both of the parents are drug addicts. And you mean to tell me that we should celebrate 420? You know what I'm saying? Snoop Dogg out here promoting 420 when weed smoking has destroyed the black community. Weed smoking has destroyed the Latino community. Weed smoking has destroyed the Native American community. And the only thing it has done is turned us into junkies. That's the only thing weed has done for us. And you don't even know that you're celebrating, you're worshiping another God when you smoke this weed. You're not serving the Most High when you smoke weed. People smoking weed and saying, oh, it helps me to meditate. It helps me to get closer to my God. You know what I'm saying? No, Ak, you just high. You just a junkie. That's it. Yeah, then it's the conspiracy theory. Like Erskine said, everybody getting high, 5G this, 5G that. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that weed does, man. Have people bugged out of their mind. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, go to Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 17. You know what I'm saying? We got a little time. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 8, verse 17. And it says, then he said unto me, hast thou seen this, O son of man? Is it the light thing to the house of Judah that they commit here? For they have filled the land with violence. Because that's what the drugs do, man. That's what drug dealing does. When you got the weed and the drug dealing, it makes us fill our land with just violence, man. The drug dealing makes us violence. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure everybody don't seen family members fighting over weed. You know what I'm saying? No, he don't stole my last blunt. And they out there fighting like cats and dogs. You know what I'm saying? Brothers are getting robbed and murdered, getting murdered and killed because they're selling drugs. And what happens when they're selling drugs? Somebody comes in and kick the door in just for some weed, man. Just so they can get some weed and try to do the same thing that they're doing. You know what I'm saying? And that's why the scriptures say, man, for they have filled the land with violence. Because that's what's happening with this drug dealing. With all of this selling weed. You know what I'm saying? How many drug dealers you know selling weed don't got murdered, don't got killed, don't got robbed? You know what I'm saying? It's violence in it, man. You know what I'm saying? People talking about some, oh man, you know, weed makes everybody peaceful. No, it doesn't. Because when the high comes down, guess what happens? They're violent. They're angry. They're going off on everybody. Because they're going through withdrawal. It's just like smoking crack. It's no different. You know what I'm saying? You're going through your withdrawal. You're angry. Trying to find weed. Trying to do whatever you can. Sisters having sex with brothers just for weed. You know what I'm saying? Like giving themselves over for a bag of weed. Good night. You know what I'm saying? That's what we have come to, man. And we don't fill the land with violence behind this drug addiction, man. And that's why we say, man, our oppressor is the devil, man. Because now they promote the weed. Now you can go to California and become a drug dealer. To make it now is legal. You know what I'm saying? Now smoking weed is legal in certain parts of the earth, in certain parts of America. You can smoke weed and get high to your mind and just do what you want. You know what I'm saying? Look at how the weed did us in the 60s. Because smoking weed was from the hippies. They started that smoking weed thing. And how did the people feel about it during the 60s? They hated it. You know what I'm saying? The oppressors, they hated their children smoking weed and getting high because they seen the destruction that it was doing amongst them. All of them getting high to their mind, not working the job, can't get a job, spending everything they get. You know what I'm saying? We don't see it plenty of times from the people that smoke weed. We all got them family members who are weed heads that smoke all the time, stealing every goddamn thing because they don't have a job and just going in their mama purse, going in their real purse, sneaking money. It's no different than smoking crack. It's the same thing. It's a drug addiction. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. It's no different. Can't get around it, man. Smoking weed is no different than smoking crack, man. It's the same thing. It's a demon that's on you that has you possessed. And I'm going to keep reading. For they have filled the land with violence. It's lagging. And have returned to provoke me to anger. And 420, a lot of our people celebrating it has made the Most High mad. During all this coronavirus and deaths going on, due to people's lungs being filled with mucus from and getting infected with coronavirus, you would rather fill it with smoke and kill yourself. You would rather fill your lungs with smoke, even though coronavirus is going around and killing our people. And people's lungs are being filled with mucus, and then they need the machine to help them breathe. You would rather go out here and smoke the weed, fill your lungs with smoke, take a chance to catch a coronavirus, having your lungs filled with mucus. You know what I'm saying? How's your body gonna fight that off? You're too high. You barely can breathe smoking on the weed. Your lungs are bad. You're dying already, and the only thing you want to do is continue to get high, man. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You just want to continue to get high, smoke more weed, don't even care, and go out here and celebrate 420 like it's a normal thing to do. 420 is a day for drug addicts, man. Everybody celebrating 420 right now is a drug addict. And you need help. You need help. You need to come into the ISUPK and get help to fight that demon off. Because like Officer Natazagabar said, you are possessed. That demon has you possessed. Stealing everything, taking everything. You ain't even yourself, man. And let's not talk about how it does you when you try to get a job. You know what I'm saying? Some people, like Captain Katazar said, he said, people now are getting fake rods. You know what I'm saying? To go in and take the drug test with. And somehow the urine is already inside the fake rod or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Now people don't start going to homosexual activities just to get a job because they can't pass a drug test. And you mean to tell me that we should smoke weed? That smoking weed is good? Man, hell no, man. Smoking weed is a horrible thing that has plagued the black community and has plagued the Hispanic community. It has plagued the Native American community. You know what I'm saying? Esau always does this to us, man. He finds ways to get into our nation and destroy us with these drugs, man. You had the heroin epidemic. You had the crack and cocaine epidemic. Now we have the weed epidemic, which is destroying the hell out of our people, man. You know what I mean? Some of these young kids be out here, some of these young brothers and sisters be so high, man, they can't even focus or concentrate on anything. Anything. You talking to them, they just so high in their mind, they don't even, it's like, hey, man, you good? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Words don't got slowed down. You can't even see your words slurred. You know what I'm saying? And you talking about weed is good. Weed is not good, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna continue. And have returned to provoke me to anger. And lo, they put the branch to their nose. And you know what I'm saying? 'Cause that's what our people doing. Taking the branch, taking the weed and smelling it. Oh, that's that good. That's that good. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing you're doing is provoking the Most High to anger, man. The only thing you're doing is making the Most High mad, man. You know what I'm saying? Can't even get a good job, man, because you can't pass a drug test. Only thing you want to do is take the weed and smell it. Take the bag, smell it. You know what I'm saying? These are things that provoke the Most High to anger. That weed makes the Most High mad, man. Because he knows what it's doing to our people. He sees what's going on with our people when they get high. Can't concentrate, can't focus. And he knows that you're serving another God when you decide to get high. Because you're not serving him. Most of the people that get high don't even want to hear this truth, man. They get high out of their mind and just sit back, listen to music, and be zoned out. Be out of their goddamn mind. Can't even focus. Eating up all the food in their parents' house and their own house. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, people taking the last little bit of their money just to buy weed, man. I have seen it. I have seen it amongst my family. I've seen it amongst people that I thought were my friends back in the world. Taking their last $20. Or when they get their checks on Friday, the first thing that they decide to do is call the weed man. Don't even think about paying their bills first. The first thing they do is call the weed man. The weed man getting your money. You know what I'm saying? People taking $80, $90 out of their money, out of their checks, and go give it to the weed man. You know what I'm saying? And you telling me that smoking weed is beneficial for black people? It's beneficial for Latinos and Native Americans? That it's really helping us out? No, man. That's why the Most High had to bring Corvoid 19. Because some of our people won't understand it until they catch it. Some of my people won't change until they get this, man. And that's what it's going to take sometimes. It's a sad thing to see that our people are just selling themselves out so they can get high and smoke all the weed that they can and celebrate 420. Man, I seen it's very sad, man. I know brothers and sisters that I know in the world that I was friends with. I'm looking on they little timeline that pops up on your Facebook, smoking weed in the house with the kids in the house, man. Now, what are you teaching your children to do? What are you teaching your kids to do? How to be a junkie? Because what do you think they're going to do when they get older? They're going to follow in the footsteps of their parents. They're going to want to get high. They're going to want to smoke weed. You know, and then what about the kids that get a hold of weed that their parents have lying around? You know what I'm saying? We done been young before and used to take cigarettes from our grandparents or our family members and try to go smoke them because we wanted to imitate what they were doing. So what do you think your kids going to do when they turn 7, 8, 9, and 10 and get older and start to realize what's going on? They gonna take your little weed that you got rolled up sitting in your ashtray because you high as hell and you're careless and you're not a good parent. You know what I'm saying? You're not a good parent at all because you're high. And then what your kids gonna do? See the little weed in the ashtray and take the little blunt and try to imitate what you're doing. And they gonna want to experiment with it. So then you got children out here who 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old getting high because their parents do it. And how in the hell can you tell your kids not to get high when you're getting high? You're a hypocrite and you hate your children. Because any good parent knows that they shouldn't be doing drugs because they know the chances that they're taking when they're getting high. They know if I'm getting high and the police pull up behind me and my kids are in this house, Department of Social Service can come in here and take my children away from me. So you don't give a damn about your children if you're smoking weed. You don't care about their well-being. You're just a junkie who needs help. That's what you are. You are a junkie who needs help. And you need to come into the ISUPK and get the help you need. Because we have programs that help brothers and sisters get off them drugs, man. We have brotherhood. You have brothers and sisters in here who will be there for you when you're going through your hard times trying to fight this demon off you. Because that weed is nothing but a demon. And it possesses you. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that weed is, man. It's just a demon who takes control. And you never can get ahead. You know what I'm saying? You're not like the oppressor. When they smoke weed, they move up in the world. But when we smoke weed, we continue to downgrade. You know what I'm saying? We lose our jobs. We lose our apartments. We lose our kids. You lose your cars. Because it's destroying you financially. And it's destroying your health. It's destroying your mind. You're losing your memory. You can't remember anything. You know what I'm saying? Can't remember anything. And then what do our people do? Continue to do it because they don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing you're doing is pissing the Most High off, man. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm going to go to verse 18. Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 18. Therefore will I also deal in fury. And that's what the Most High is going to do. He's going to deal with our people in fury who want to get high, who want to smoke the weed. Salaki, it says. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Ariston Littleton. He said weed contains the same carcinogens and irritants as tobacco. When you cough, when you toke, it's irritating your lungs. Damn right. It's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? People talking about some weed don't kill nobody. Well, we gonna see. We gonna see, because the Most High said, therefore will I also deal in fury. My eye shall not spare, neither will I have pity. The Most High is not gonna show pity upon people who know that smoking weed is wrong. You know what I'm saying? You have brothers and sisters trying to teach you, trying to show you that, hey man, you don't need to smoke the weed, man. And brothers and sisters who not trying to repent and change themselves, who are not trying to put the weed down, the Most High is going to show fury upon you, man. What do you think this coronavirus is for, man? Why do you think it's killing our people? Why do you think it's running rapid in the Black, Latino, Native American community? Because our people don't want to stop sinning. Our people want to celebrate 420. It's not a coincidence that the coronavirus is out here right now while 420 is going on. Because the Most High wants to see who are you going to worship. Who are you going to worship? Him, or are you going to worship these guys on 420? And a lot of our people are going to choose to worship another God, man. And the Most High is going to deal with you with fury. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to read that again. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 8, verse 18. Salaki. Therefore, will I also deal in fury. And that's what the Most High is going to do. He's going to deal with our people in fury, man. The last thing you want to happen is the Most High to deal with you in anger, man. Because you want to get high. Because you want to smoke the weed. The Most High is going to deal with you in fury, man. And that's why you see so many of our people dying, man. It makes you wonder, man, how many of our people out here smoking this weed? Now, I heard a story. A brother told me about a sister down there in Louisiana who lost her son. To coronavirus. Because he was just smoking weed all the time. And when he caught it, his lungs were not strong enough to fight it back. His lungs were not strong enough because he had spent so much time smoking weed that his lungs was just horrible. Always high, always smoking. And the Most High allowed him to get coronavirus, and guess what? He couldn't even fight it back. He couldn't even fight. His lungs were too weak, man. Smoking weed is not good, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep reading. My eye shall not spare, neither will I have pity. And the Most High is not going to have pity for these weed smokers, man, who laugh at the brothers in the school because we tell them that smoking weed is a sin, that smoking weed is a serving another God. Man, I know people in the world, I told it too, that I used to be, that I thought with my friends, thought that I was close with, laughed and told me, go on, swear with that, man. I don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? When you try to tell them the truth and they don't want to hear it. And people that come into this truth, man, that put away and repent from all the things that they were doing, like smoking weed and selling weed, you start to see how the people that you were smoking weed with and doing all these things with really are not your friends, man. Because as soon as you get out the weed, where are they at? Where are they at? Nowhere to be found. You can't depend on them. They're not going to help you with anything because they're high and they're drug addicts. You can't ask a drug addict to help you for anything because he can't even help himself. She can't even help herself, man. So why in the hell are you going to try to go to a drug addict for help? You know what I'm saying? Get the hell away from them, man. If they don't want to come into this truth and serve the Most High, hey, like the scripture said, like the Most High said in the book of Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 18. He said, my eyes shall not spare thee, neither will I have pity. He's not going to show any pity, man. So if you out here celebrating 420, don't be surprised, man, when all of these bad things start to happen to you. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised when DSS run in your house and take your goddamn kids. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised when you're selling drugs that you get robbed and you get killed and you get murdered. Don't be surprised. Because the Most High is not going to have pity on you, man. Because you don't want to listen. You don't want to repent. You don't want to put the drugs down. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna continue to read. And thou they cry in my ears with a loud voice, yet will I not hear them. The Most High is not gonna hear you. When this coronavirus start going rapid out here and killing everybody who got these weak lungs because they want to smoke cigarettes, they want to smoke tobacco, want to smoke weed, the Most High is not going to hear you. He's not going to hear you crying. He's not going to hear you praying to him. He's not going to hear any of it because you didn't want to repent when he told you to put the weed down, man. You know what I'm saying? If you can't go to Proverbs chapter 16, verse 27, we're going to continue to go in more on this weed smoking, man. We'll go in more, man, on this weed smoking, man, and where it really comes from. Because smoking weed has nothing to do with the Most High. Everybody loves to say that it comes from the earth. But let me show you what the Most High said about that, man. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 27. An ungodly man diggeth up evil, and in his lips there is as a burning fire. You know what I'm saying? That's that weed smoking, huh? An ungodly man dig above evil, because that weed is evil, man. That tobacco that you smoking on is evil. When you light it up and smoke it, man, it is an evil thing in the sight of the Most High, man. And you had the audacity to say, oh, it comes for the earth. So damn what, man? So does crack and cocaine, man. That comes from the earth. So does poison ivy. I don't see y'all out here smoking poison ivy. It comes from the earth. You know what I'm saying? Why you ain't smoking grass? It comes from the earth. The reason why you smoke weed, because you love it. You love that demon. You love the possession that it does to you. You love it. And you love the weed more than you love the Most High. You know what I'm saying? And the Most High said, an ungodly man dig up evil. Because a man that is underneath the Most High, he's not going to do that, man. He's not going to dig up the weed, man, and smoke it and distribute it to his people and destroy them. He's not going to do it. That's why it says an ungodly man dig up the evil. So if you out here with this weed, trying to be a drug dealer and all this, you are an ungodly man. You are an ungodly man. And you're not serving the Most High. So don't be surprised when all of these evil things start to happen to you. When you start seeing all these people dying. You know what I'm saying? And think about it. How many people have died from cigarettes, man? How many people have died from cigarettes? You know what I'm saying? Don't you know that smoking is dangerous? And you know secondhand smoke is even worse? So when you smoking the weed and you got your kids in the house, or you're smoking the cigarettes and you got your kids in the house, man, you're killing them, man. Think about how many people don't die from cancer due to smoking. Man, I have lost family members. I lost my grandfather from cancer from smoking. And then when he wanted to stop smoking, he started chewing tobacco. And then he got cancer from that. You know what I'm saying? How many of our people have we lost behind this smoking from cancer? It says it right on the pack of the goddamn cigarettes. And people still will get it. And what Trey Davis said, I was arguing with my friend last night. He said, weed is good. You can't die from it. Hey, get away from him, because you're going to find out like a lot of us did. Them people we think are our friends who smoke weed are not our friends, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's bad. It's bad to say that, but it's the truth, man. You know, the last thing you want to do is be with somebody who you think your friend and they try to go get some weed from somebody and you be with them, and then the Most High allow somebody to come in there and rob the place, or the police to come in there and you just happen to be there. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, he tried to say it was good, and you can't die from it. But man, listen, what is he smoking the weed out of? You know, the weed makes you paranoid. The weed makes you paranoid. You know, I don't see people have panic attacks from smoking weed. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause it's too much. Sometimes it's too much for certain people. Some people can't handle it. And some people have panic attacks. And some people do die from it. You know what I'm saying? Smoking that weed, man, it's not going to help you, man. People swirling up the weed and the tobacco papers and the cigars and all of that stuff, man. That stuff causes cancer, man. It is going to kill you. It might not kill you right then and right there. Give it about 10, 15 years. Give about 10, 15 years. Give about 5, 6 years. Look at how many people, and people don't even understand that those cigars have chemicals in them. You know, I remember hearing that back in the day when I was young. They used to tell us that the stuff that they used to seal it up has some type of glue on it. Some type of glue, but that glue does go back to cancer. You know what I'm saying? All the chemicals that they use, do you really think they're producing these tobacco products at this higher rate from natural tobacco from the ground? No, man, they're using chemicals. You know what I'm saying? They're using all type of different chemicals. And you say Trey Davis said tried to make to seem like I'm the bad person for not smoking. Hey, you man, you are a good brother, man, because you're trying to save his life, man. Only somebody that cares about you, man, will say that, man. Will tell you, hey, man, put the weed down, man. Hey, only a person that cares about you will tell you that weed kills you, that smoking destroys you. You know what I'm saying? Only somebody that loves you will tell you that. And Trey Davis, you love that brother enough to tell him that. But he doesn't love himself enough to know that you're trying to save his life. He doesn't even understand that you're trying to save his life. That you care about him. That you're more of a brother to him than he is to you. And hey, that's right. Eric Little said that's why it's addictive. You know what I'm saying? They put stuff in the tobacco to keep you coming back. The weed makes you more addicted. You know what I'm saying? People, I ain't addicted to weed. How come you smoking 4 or 5 blunts a day? How come you taking your last little bit of money and getting high? You are a junkie. You are a junkie who needs help, man. You know what I'm saying? Damn right, Trey said. I tell my friends all day. And there's a little said all those chemicals in it. Damn right. It's chemicals in these drugs, man. People love to say, nah, man, ain't no chemicals in this weed. Man, there are chemicals in these cigars that you're smoking out of, and there are chemicals in the weed that you're smoking out of. You know what I'm saying? An old school player told me back in the day, he said, something's not right about this weed they putting out right now. He said, back in the day when they was doing it was never like this. He said, nowadays, he said he put the weed down because he knew something was wrong with it. He said it almost killed him. He said he smoked it and how it took his breath away from him and how it had him feeling. He said he knew something was wrong. And that brother stopped smoking. You know what I'm saying? Hey, damn right. Thomas Brown said, might as well smoke crack. It's all the same. You might as well, you know what I'm saying? If you smoke a weed, you might as well go get you a 20 rock. I'm not saying you should, but it's no different than going to get a 20 rock and smoking it on the corner. You know what I'm saying? At least the crackhead knows that, at least a brother or sister that's on crack knows that they need help. But somebody smoking weed, you can't tell them a damn thing. You can't tell them that smoking weed is going to kill them. You know what I'm saying? You can't get between their relationship that they have with their God when it comes to smoking weed, because smoking weed is the worship of another God. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And then you get high. Then you get paranoid. And then you have to deal with all these other things that you're going with in life. You're already paranoid. You already stressed. You know what I'm saying? Damn right, Ernestine. I used to hear the same thing. The older cats used to say the weed was natural back then. But now, Esau has turned it up a notch. You know what I'm saying? Don't be surprised when you start seeing people dropping dead for smoking this weed. When these chemicals get intensified in it, because everybody want to smoke. Everybody want to get high. You know what I'm saying? Don't be surprised when you start seeing people dropping dead. You know what I'm saying? On top of all the weed smoking, you know what I'm saying, that we're smoking and doing all this, on top of the diabetes, on top of the sicknesses, the high blood pressure, then you got to deal with police brutality. Because what happens when you get high and you get pulled over by the police? The police treat you like trash. They yank everybody out of the car. They search everybody. Everybody's getting tickets. Everybody's getting fines. Now you got this drug charge on you. Now you got to spend more money. You know what I'm saying? Because back in the day, I know from experience, I went through it. You know what I'm saying? And somebody said they put more than a bumble fluid on it. Good night. They putting a bumble fluid on the weed? Man, listen. Listen, man. It's all type of chemicals in us. Hey, shalom, Nayar. You know what I mean? People, they put all type of chemicals in this drug, man. You know what I'm saying? And then you getting high, you paranoid, you can't even goddamn function. You know what I'm saying? How many people don't got high and tried to go work at a job in the plant? You can't function. You can't think straight. You know what I'm saying? How many times have you seen people try to get high and go out here and go and get in the boxing arena? You can't do it. You can't get high and go play basketball. What happens? Your brother, it makes you harder to breathe. Like, it's killing you. And people know it, man. I'm going to pull an article for y'all, man. I'm going to pull an article for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Pull an article for y'all to show y'all what God you're worshiping when you start worshiping that weed. You know what I mean? This is an article from the oh man, ain't that some crap? I just erased it. So like, got it back right here. All right. This is an article from Herd.com. It says how Hinduism, cannabis God fused cannabis God fused weed loving culture, and it says at the top, it says normal people need food, but we need ganja, said one of the attendees at the Holy Hindu Festival, Mahashivaratri. Good night. You know what I'm saying? They said normal people need food. And who's the normal people? The people that don't get high. The people don't do the drugs. You know what I'm saying? The brother said, he said, I used to be paranoid at work thinking everyone was staring and I knew I was high at work. Good night. Oh, yeah. Hey, Ak, man, hey, maybe everybody was looking out, but it's good that you in this truth now and you let that thing go, man. You repented, man, and you came into this truth. You know what I'm saying? Because you already knew that it was wrong. You know what I'm saying? And all that paranoia do is make you more stressed, man. Stress you into a damn heart attack. You know what I'm saying? Good night. I can only imagine how people are feeling now smoking this weed and knowing coronavirus is going around. You know what I'm saying? I heard one sister saying, she said she couldn't take it anymore. She said, I got to get out of this damn house. I can't take it. She said, I'm terrified for my kids. She said, I'm scared for my kids. She said, I'm smoking, but it ain't working. And then I'm just sitting back like, sis, put the weed down. Come serve the Most High. Because the weed isn't going to work. And this is what you're worshiping when you smoke the weed. You're worshiping another God. And I'm going to bring this out for you. You know what I'm saying? It says, it's a lot here. And this is what it says. It says, Hinduism, like most religions, blends philosophy, spirituality, and myth together. There are so many different types of Hinduism that it's unlikely to find that the two Hinduism with identical beliefs. It says the usual estimate of how many gods are in Hinduism is 330 million. 330 million different gods. Like, good night. God damn, they worshiping everything. They're worshiping everything. And that's what we as our people doing. Worshiping and doing everything. You know what I'm saying? And it says, technically, all of these guys are one part of Brahman, the genderless principle of ultimate reality, as is Shiva. But Shiva holds a special place in the religion separate from most of the other gods, because that's the God that you're worshiping when you're smoking the weed. You're worshiping the god called Shiva, which is an East Indian god for the Hindus. Where do you think all of that weed smoking got popular from? It came from these Hindus. Why do you think the Rastafarians in Jamaica look so much like the Hindus with the hair? Because it's their tradition. And what do the people that smoke all the weed in Jamaica call it? They call it ganja. You know what I'm saying? They're worshiping another god. And the name of that god that they're worshiping is called Shiva. You know what I'm saying? And this is another article. You know, if y'all need these articles, man, you know, I can give them out to you. But this is another article. This one is from NPR.org. It says Shiva is a god who likes marijuana. That's what the head of this article does. That's what the head of this article says. It says Shiva is a god who likes marijuana. And it also says and so do many of his followers. So all of these followers that smoke weed really are worshiping Shiva, which is a Hinduism god of the people from India. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to get another scripture for you. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 3. If y'all got to go to Exodus, chapter 20, verse 3, man. Because this is what the Most High says about our people who are trying to worship these other gods, who try to take the credit from the Most High and give it to another god, man. This is what the Most High said about that, man. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Let me read that again for you. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. The children of Israel, which are blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, were never supposed to have another God before the Most High. And 420 shows the Most High how many of our people would rather put another God before him. And that's what a lot of our people have done, man. A lot of our people have decided to take on another God. And that God that they're taking on, smoking that weed to, is called Shiva. You know what I'm saying? Back then and even now, we burn incense to the Most High. Frankincense and myrrh, a pleasant smell that the Most High loves to smell. But now you have our people smoking weed and think that that smoke pleases the Most High. The Most High hates that smell, man. He doesn't want to smell your stinking weed, man. He doesn't want to smell none of that. He doesn't want to smell your weed. He doesn't want to smell your tobacco. He don't want to smell your crack smoke. He doesn't want to smell that, man. Because the Most High knows that you're worshiping another God when you do these things. And when you're out here smoking marijuana and celebrating 420, you're worshiping another God. And the name of that God that you're worshiping is called Shiva, who is a God who loves marijuana. That's what you're doing when you're smoking weed. You're worshiping another God. And you wonder why you're catching so much hell. It's because you're worshiping another God. And I'm going to read some of this article. It says Shiva is one chill deity. He's one of the three major gods in the Hindu religion. And he has a penchant for pot. Shiva loves marijuana. So we come to share Shiva's praise with everyone else. Explains a 60-year-old man who gives his name as Radhid Baba. You know what I'm saying? And let me read some more. It said groups of dreadlocked Hindu sit around small smoky fires puffing on clay pipes at Pashupati, one of Nepal's holiest Hindu temples in the capital city of Kathmandu. You know what I'm saying? That's where dreadlocks come from. Everybody that has dreadlocks, what you have to understand, dreadlocks come from the Hindus. That dreadlocks that you wear in your head thinking dreadlocks are cool, dreadlocks are from another nation of people. We are not supposed to have dreadlocks in our head either. You know, you walking around here with the dreads thinking you doing something, man, you're taking on the customs of another nation of people. And the Most High hates that. Because the Most High knows when you start taking on these traditions of these other nations, you're going to also start worshiping their gods. And that's what happened. How many sisters you know, man, that they got the dreadlocks in their hair? They just one of those type of, those godly earth chicks. They always see them, they meditating with the nose ring right here, hanging all the way down to her throat. She just out of her goddamn mind, burning sage and doing all this stupidity, and smokes all of the weed that they can. Because they're worshiping another God, man. And they don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? And you provoke the Most High to anger when you do these things. Smoking weed and worshiping these other guys, thinking that you're doing something right, man. You are not, man. You're worshiping the God called Shiva. And even those dreadlocks, people that have dreadlocks in their hair, you still worshiping another nation. You're worshiping the Hindus, the people from India. That's what you're doing. Those dreadlocks, cut them off, man. Get your braids, man. That's why in the UPK, man, you don't see brothers and sisters with dreadlocks in this school. You don't see our kids with dreadlocks. You don't see the men in here with dreadlocks because we know those dreadlocks come from another nation of people. And when you start worshiping these other nation of people, what happens? You start taking on their guys. You know what I'm saying? How many people? I'm not saying all people that got dreadlocks smoke weed, but goddamn, majority of them, the people that I know that got dreadlocks smoke weed. You know what I'm saying? They smoke weed, come around their kids, be high, not understanding that their kids are inhaling that weed smoke, catching secondhand smoke. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you are helping to destroy your kids with this, man. And then what are you teaching your kids? How to worship another God. That's what you're teaching them, how to worship another God, man. I'm going to keep reading some more of this. It says, many men and women have traveled from around different places to Nepal and India for the festival. They spend the days before the holy day alternately praying and lounging to prepare to commune with Shiva. Because that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing, man. When you're sitting around chilling, man, you're really worshiping another God, man. That's the only thing you're doing. You know what I'm saying? This is some more that they said. They said, smoking marijuana makes us forget everything and we communicate with Shiva, says the people at the festival. You know what I'm saying? They say the marijuana helps stave off worldly desires, they say. Sharing the praise in this case, the weed shows their love for Shiva. Because that's what the weed does, man. When you're doing these things, you're showing your love to Shiva. You're showing your love to another God, man. You're not showing your love to the Most High. And the Most High says he is a jealous God. The Most High say he is a jealous God. So when you start worshiping Shiva, you have made the Most High jealous. You know what I'm saying? And it's bad that a lot of our people are going to have to find out the hard way. You know, we pray that our brothers and sisters wake up to this truth because we don't want to see them die. We don't want to see them have to go through these horrible things, man. We don't want to see our people catch the coronavirus. But, man, when you provoke the Most High to anger, man, good night. Good night. That's the only thing I'm telling you. When you start worshiping these other gods and start putting these gods first before you put the Most High, don't be surprised, man. Don't be surprised when the Most High sends his anger upon you. Don't be surprised when you lose your children to DSS custody. Don't be surprised because you're worshiping another God and the Most High is not going to be with you. He's not going to protect you, man. Don't be surprised also when brothers and sisters are out there selling drugs and doing all of these various and wicked things and the drug dealer gets killed. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to pull a scripture for that too, man, to show you, man, that the Most High is not with that drug dealer neither, man. You know what I'm saying? And if you can, go to the book of Exodus chapter 22, verse 18. Because we're going to show you what the Most High, how he feels about your drug dealers. And you're gonna figure out why so many of these drug dealers are dying. The brother said, Ariston Little said, so they get high to the point where they start to hallucinate and think they're communicating with Shiva. That's exactly what they're doing. That's what you see a lot of our people nowadays too. I mean, I don't see sisters and brothers get high and say they're meditating. I mean, the only thing you're doing is trying to worship this other God. Only thing that you are doing is worshiping this other God. When you're getting high like this and sitting back and think you're meditating, I mean, you're worshiping Shiva. That's what you're doing. You're worshiping the Indians, the God of the Indian people, or the people of India. You're worshiping their God Shiva, the God of the Hindus. That's their God. Look it up, man. When you get out of this class and you have time, look up how high these people from the Hindus get. Man, these people are bugged out and out of their mind, man. These people are disgusting. These Hindus people, man, they're so high, man. Some of them won't even take a bath for a whole year. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you how stupid they are, man. Let me tell you how stupid their religion is, man. They believe getting high, smoking the weed, and not doing certain things is clean. You know what I'm saying? So like they had a situation where one of their elders over there in India put his hand up like this and didn't put his hand down for a whole year. And he said Shiva told him to do it. And so when he didn't put his hand down for a whole year, the people looked at it as a sign of him being a holy man. And you telling me that we should smoke weed? Do you know how stupid that sounds? Do you know how idiotic that is? You hold your hand up because you high as hell, and you telling people, the God Shiva told me to keep my hand held up. And other idiots around him calls him a holy man. Do you know how stupid that is, man? Do you know how idiotic that is? Smoking weed and holding your hand up for a whole year until the festival comes back around again, and when you come back to the festival, you still got your damn hand up like this? Man, you are out of your damn mind, man. That's why the Most High told us not to worship these other guys, man. Not to serve these other nations. Because our people will start doing that stupid ass stuff, man. So like it for my language, but good night, man. Our people will start doing the same thing. Start doing these stupid things. Start finding all type of ways to worship this guy. You know what I'm saying? Them people over there, them Hindus, man, they are out of their mind, man. Look up the things that they do, man. Playing with the cobras, taking real skulls from people that they know who died and eating out of them, and all type of sickness and weirdness, man. That weed smoking is, man, I don't understand it. Since I've been in the truth, man, I just don't get it, man. Like, it's no pleasure in it, man. Damn right. Officer Shaw said, Khan, they are vain. Damn right. You know what I'm saying? Look it up, man. Look at what these Hindus do, man. They are filthy, man. That's what dreadlocks are not a sign of a hairstyle. Dreadlocks are a sign of filth, according to the Hindus, because they don't wash their hair. They let it lock up and become nappy. That's why it looks like it does. Even brothers and sisters now who have dreads. I had dreadlocks, and I remember me having dreadlocks. I came into the truth and I cut them. You know what I'm saying? I cut them things off. Dreadlocks right here. And I remember having the dreadlocks in my hair, and I washed my hair. And I guess I didn't dry right. And my hair smelled like a dirty mop. And I was like, man, this ain't right, man. Why is my hair smelling like this? Because I didn't understand that dreadlocks are a sign of filth. You know what I'm saying? And then when I started cutting my dreadlocks off, I looked at it in the light, and the hair wasn't even black. It was gray. It was gray. It was so much dirt clogged in it. It was disgusting, man. And I was like, good night. You know what I'm saying? And people be wondering why the dreadlocks be so heavy on your head, because you have nothing but dirt clogged up in that hair, man. You know what I'm saying? That ain't even hair no more. That's why it's breaking off like it does. You ever see people keep getting their hair retwisted so much? They start getting the bald spot right there, and they start looking like Predator. You know what I'm saying? Because, man, those dreadlocks, man, are not a sign of our culture. You know what I'm saying? Keep wearing them dreadlocks, man, after a good 20 years, man. Hey, Con, hey, yeah, your hair full of dirt, and you keep getting them things retwisted so much, the hair starts thinning where you had the dreadlocks at, where you're getting them tight at. And next thing you start noticing, you know what I mean, you start getting a bald spot in your head. And I'm just saying, man, it's funny, man. I be looking at brothers and sisters who got the dreadlocks in, and I don't know if they see what I see when I'm in the line, and you can tell they don't have them twisted so much, but they don't see the bald spot up there. You know what I'm saying? It's coming in because you're getting those dreads done. You know, I see the bald spot, and I'm just like, man, you need to cut that off, man, because shit, look at your hair, man. It ain't growing. You know what I'm saying? It's damaging your hair. You got all this dirt clogged up in your hair, all this dirt in your pores, and you thinking the dreadlocks are good. You know, I don't hear sister say, dreadlocks look good on a man. Good night. Those dreadlocks are a sign of filth, man. That's why those Hindus do it. And look at our brothers and sisters in Jamaica. Look at the Benjamites in Jamaica, the Rastafarians, who consider themselves Rastafarians. Man, they look like hell, man, with those nasty, long, filthy dreads all the way to the ground. That stuff is disgusting, man. Hey, Khan, the brother Erston Little said, dreadlocks do stink. I used to hate working next to the brothers with dreads. That's all you can smell. Right? It smells horrible, man, because there's nothing but dirt in those things. You know what I'm saying? Now y'all starting to understand why dreadlocks and weed smoking go hand in hand, because it all comes from another nation of people. It comes from another nation of people, the Hindus, who worship that, man. And brothers do look effeminate with dreadlocks, man. Most definitely, man. You be riding in the car, you think it's a sister, and then when you pull up, it's a brother with dreadlocks. You're like, oh, good night. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, listen. Them dreadlocks, man, cut them off, man. Because that's even from another nation of people. Us being Israel, we always take things that are dirty from another nation and we try to make it clean. So that's why you see Israelites now who got the dreadlocks and they might have them braided up in the style and all of this and everything. Because we take things from other nations that might be dirty and we make it clean because we are clean people. You know, we got style, we got swag, we got that sauce, you know what I'm saying? And so when we take a hold of it, we take something that is filthy and we try to make it clean. You know what I'm saying? Brothers getting their dreads braided back, all of this and that, man. Listen, those dreadlocks are not a part of our culture, man. It is the worship of another God. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. Look it up. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to pull another article for y'all, man. I'll pull another article for you to show you what's going on and what's happening with people smoking that weed. You know, this article right here that we pulling up, it was from CNN Health. This is from CNN Health. This was updated Friday, April the 10th, 2020. It says, smoking weed and coronavirus. Even occasional use raises risk of COVID-19 complications. It's CNN reported. If you're smoking weed to ease your stress during the coronavirus pandemic, experts say it is the time to think twice. You know what I'm saying? Because the health experts know, they did the report, man. They know that smoking weed, like everything I just told you, they know smoking weed destroys you, man. It makes you more paranoid. You know what I'm saying? It makes you stress even more. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep reading. It says smoking marijuana, even occasionally, can increase your risk for more serious complications from COVID-19, the disease caused by the novel coronavirus. And it says, what happens to your airways when you smoke cannabis is that it causes some degree of inflammation, very similar to bronchitis, very similar to the type of inflammation that cigarette smoking can cause, said pulmonologist Dr. Albert Rizzo, Chief Medical Officer for the American Lung Association. Now, this is the Chief Medical Officer for the American Lung Association. Now, who you think I'm going to listen to? You think I'm going to listen to somebody that's a junkie, or I'm going to listen to somebody who has done the research, who is an expert on this? You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to listen to him, because I know these junkies that's smoking weed right now don't know what the hell they're talking about. And it says, now you have some airway inflammation, and you get an infection on top of it.
That's right.
So yes, your chance of getting more complications is there. So this expert is telling people that if you smoke weed, you have intensified your increase of getting coronavirus.
That's right.
So brothers and sisters celebrating 420 right now, the only thing you're doing is intensifying your chances of getting the coronavirus.
That's right.
On top of you being an essential worker, because majority of the people that smoke weed work at all of these essential jobs.
That's right.
Because they can't get a good job. Because they're high. They can't pass a drug test. So guess what you have to do? You have to settle for less. You have to get that job delivering pizza, because they might not do a drug test. You might have to get that job working at Walmart, because they don't give a damn. They just want you to come to work. You might have to get that job at Home Depot or somewhere. But guess what you're doing? You're increasing your chances of catching the coronavirus, because you're going to be around these different people. And you're smoking weed, your lungs are weak, and guess what? The Most High might allow you to catch it, man.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're worshiping another God. And just like I brought out, smoking that weed, the only thing you're doing is worshiping the God Shiva. You know what I'm saying? Officer Shaw said, he said, if they were wise, they know that coughing is a sign that your lungs is rejecting it. Damn right. That's just like, who that was? General Muhammad said, I think he said, it's just like if you're in a building and the building is on fire and it's filled with smoke, what's going to happen when your lungs start getting filled with the smoke? You're going to start coughing because your lungs are trying to push that smoke out. So when you're getting high at your mind and you smoking and you coughing, it is not a good thing. You're dying. You know what I'm saying?
And if I could,
sir.
if I could, just to add what he's saying, that just overall proves that only oxygen belongs in your damn lungs.
Damn right, Ottawa.
Because if anything belongs in your lungs, you'd be able to go swim down in the depths of the ocean and live,
right.
And not drown.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Your lungs can't take that, man.
Damn right.
But,
Come on, sir. I don't want to say it's so heavy, man, because he's right, man. Your lungs were never meant to have that smoke in them. So when you smoke, what do they show? You know, they always show those videos out of one where they have the lungs that don't smoke, and then they have the lungs that do smoke. The lungs that do smoke look like hell. You know what I'm saying?
right, exactly. And
then the people that don't smoke, they got the nice, healthy lungs. You know, they breathing good. You know what I'm saying? But even the experts, man, this was the chief medical officer for the American Lung Association. He's telling you, man, that, man, you might want to just stop, man, because the complications are there. It's a chance that you can catch the coronavirus. You know what I'm saying? And not only can you catch it, when you're smoking weed around your kids or cigarettes, you are helping to intensify their chance of smoking or catching the coronavirus. Because not only do your lungs become weak, their lungs become weak. Because they have to fight harder to breathe because you're smoking a cigarette with them while you in the car, or you got them in the house with you, you just smoking with all your friends and everything.
That's right.
And you don't even think your kids are having to deal with anything. Man, your kids are suffering too. So that's why I say, man, people that smoke weed don't care about their kids, man. You don't care about their well-being. You can say what you want to say, but you do not care about your children.
That's right.
I shared a picture today where at the top of the picture was a sister on Facebook Live. The sister told the people that was watching her Facebook Live, she said, watch my kids while I go smoke.
Huh.
Good night. I was like, good night. The sister asked Facebook Live to watch her kids while she smoked. And somebody in the comments said, put the remote control down. Like the kids can hear you. I'm like, man, you don't care about your kids, man. You know what I'm saying?
That just goes to show, if I could, that we live in a society where it's more important to get high than to take care of your own damn children or love your own damn children.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We live in a society where it's more important to do all kinds of drugs and be a homosexual and chase after whores. It's more important than our own damn children, our own damn nation, man.
Right. I don't want to say it's so heavy, man. He said, that's what the weed does, man. That's what the weed does, man. Brothers and sisters that's getting high right here, man, they can't take care of their kids, man. They can't even get a damn good job, man.
That's right.
You know, what job you gonna get that's gonna hire you to come in there and have some type of profession and you high? You can't even focus. You know what I'm saying? You don't care about your kids, man. Like I said, don't be surprised when DSS running your house, man. I've seen it numerous times, man. It's brothers and sisters smoking weed, getting high, and somebody reports them to DSS, and next thing you know, DSS comes out to the house. It's like, we just want to check to make sure everything's going okay with the kids. You know what I'm saying? And then next thing you know, DSS is all in their business, giving everybody a drug test. And next thing you know, this sister and brother done lost their kids. And now they don't got themselves involved in the system. You know what I'm saying? Now you in the system, now you got to do all of these things, jumps through all type of hurdles just to get your kids back.
That's right.
And you mean to tell me that we should smoke weed? Man, damn that, man. We ain't smoking no weed. Here in the ISUPK, man, we say, man, smoking weed, man, it's a horrible thing to do, man. You're worshiping another God, man. Officer Shaw said, that's right, smoking around children influences the young as well in a horrible way. Damn right, and it does. Because how many of us watched our older people in our life smoke cigarettes and we wanted to imitate what they were doing? You might steal a cigarette and then get with other young children that's about 6 or 7 and y'all sneak off and then y'all smoking the cigarettes, acting like y'all them. You know what I'm saying? Because we learned that from the people that we grew up around. You know what I'm saying? I remember doing it when I was 6 and 7, smoking a damn cigarette. You know what I'm saying? But the children here in the ISUPK, they don't have to worry about that. They don't have to worry about their parents smoking weed in front of them or cigarettes in front of them. They grew up and don't even know what the hell a cigarette is until they get older and start seeing other people do it. And then they come back and ask questions like, what are they doing? And then we able to explain to them that smoking this kills you, doing that kills you. And they understand. You know what I'm saying? Erskine Littleton said, your lungs have little hair, like follicles in them that help the lungs with oxygen and keeping your lungs clear, away. Keeping your lungs clear every time you smoke is stopping them from doing their job. Damn right. And our oppressor knows what these cigarettes and everything does. He knows that smoking intensifies our chances of dying. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He knows this, man. How many people, like I said, how many people you know have been smoking cigarettes their whole life and catch cancer? I mean, is it really worth it? Is dying worth smoking the cigarettes? And I've heard some people say, man, let me die happy. And they don't die happy, man. They die horrible deaths, having to go to get these type of what's that called out of one when they have to go get the treatments for for the cancer when they got to cut all their hair off their head.
What is it called?
Chemotherapy. That's it. And then you got to go get chemotherapy. You got to cut all your hair off your head. You got to sit in these rooms and go through get your blood recycled back through you again because you want to smoke. You know what I'm saying? Like.
It's like if I could.
Cancer.
Not to mention the birth defects that come from smoking weed.
Good night.
I mean, especially in our nation is known for it, man. I got cousins, man. You know what I'm saying? That's got little extra fingers and stuff like that. You know, situations like that happens, especially when you have, because a lot of our brothers and sisters will even. You know what I'm saying? Use those drugs even when they're, like a sister might be pregnant. She's still smoking. You know what I'm saying? And wondering why the child got mental disorder or kind of slow in class and all that kind of stuff. That comes from that. You know what I'm saying? Your child is struggling in school because you're exposing them to, illicit drugs or exposing them to weed smoke. Now, how is a drug that's supposed to make you so, what do they call it, enlightened or, you know what I'm saying? You claim that weed is supposed to make you wiser and enlightened, but that's the same damn thing or the same chemical in it is what's making your children slow, man.
Damn right. And slice if I can, I remember the doctor telling us, me and my rib, they said even if the man's smoking the weed and he's still having sex with the woman, that is entering inside her too.
Damn right.
And I was like, damn, I didn't even know that. He was like, yeah. He was like, if the woman's smoking, she's destroying the baby, and even if the man's smoking weed and he's still having sex with that woman who's not smoking weed, said it's still going inside of her too. I was like, damn, I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Then you start to think a little bit like, damn, man, do you love it? Then you look at these sisters that's doing it, and then you start to realize that they don't care about their kids, man. They don't care about their well-being. They don't even give a damn about the baby. You know what I'm saying? What that Trooper Noyar, he said, chemotherapy causes your hair to fall out. It's the radiation part of the same thing.
He said chemotherapy causes your hair to fall out. It's the radiation part of the same thing that you are using to say it's a buyer's right. Now, because just a little, I don't know.
Come. Yeah, man, smoking that weed, man, good night, man. The Most High, man, He is going to bring a lot of judgment upon Israel for doing these things, man. Because there are things that we could be doing right now that we should be doing besides smoking weed. You know what I'm saying? If I'm going to continue to read a little more of this article, then I'm going to go into some more scriptures. And I'm going to keep reading. It says, it's like my phone froze up.
Where you need that? Where you at?
Oh, I'm on the CNN article out of one. Oh, there you go. Come on, sir.
If you can tag me to it, I'll read it for you.
Okay, come on, sir. I'm going to share it to you right now. I don't want. Man, I looked on my timeline, all the one, I seen so many brothers and sisters that I know, man, just, you see them getting high, and the only thing you hear in the background is kids playing. I'm like, good night, man. Good night, man. You don't care about your kids, man. Gosh, I think I just sent it to you, other one.
Let's see if I can find it. Okay, I got you.
Gosh,
All right. Just pull it up. All right, the article is called "Smoking Weed and Coronavirus. Even occasional use raises risk of COVID-19 complications." All right, it says, if you're smoking weed to ease your stress during the coronavirus pandemic, experts say it's time to think twice.
right.
Smoking marijuana, even occasionally, can increase your risk for more severe complications from COVID-19, the disease caused by novel coronavirus. What happens to your airways when you smoke cannabis is that it causes some degree of inflammation, very similar to bronchitis,
Good night.
very similar to the type of inflammation that cigarette smoking can cause, said pulmonologist Dr. Albert Rizzo, Chief Medical Officer for the American Lung Association. Now you have some airway inflammation and you get an infection on top of it. So yes, your chance of getting more complications is there. Hey, wait, you might say, I've only just started and I'm not smoking much, so what's the harm? The problem, said Dr. Mitchell Glass, the problem, said Dr. Mitchell Glass, a pulmonologist and spokesperson for the American Lung Association, is that the last thing you want during a pandemic is to make it more difficult for a doctor to diagnose your symptoms. COVID-19 is a pulmonary disease. Glass said, do you really want to have a confounding variable if you need to see a doctor or a healthcare worker by saying, oh, and by the way, I'm not a regular user of cannabis, but I decided to use cannabis to calm myself down.
Good night.
You don't want to do anything that's going to confound the ability of healthcare workers to make a rapid, accurate assessment of what's going on with you, he added. Is the cough coming from smoking or coronavirus? Chronic marijuana smoking, defined as daily use, damages the lungs over a period of time. The end result looks a lot like chronic bronchitis, which is of course one of the terms we use for chronic obstructive lung disease, or COPD.
Good night.
Smokers, people with COPD and other chronic lung diseases, as well as people with moderate to severe asthma, are among those at high risk for severe illness from COVID-19, including the worst case scenario of being placed on a ventilator in order to continue breathing. Signs of lung damage from smoking even just a few cigarettes can show up in a matter of days, while a hit or two of marijuana doesn't compare. There are some unique properties to a joint of weed that are definitely problematic for the lungs, even if you're a new smoker, Glass said. Think of what happens to a cigarette when lit and left in the ashtray. It will burn quickly all the way down to the filter with nothing left but ash. It's surrounded by paper. It's completely dried out. It is made to burn at a very high temperature, Glass said. Now think of how a joint burns. There's always some weed left, the roach, as it is called. Marijuana burns Marijuana burns at a much, much lower temperature than a commercially made cigarette, said Glass. Because of that, the person inhaling a certain amount of unburnt plant material that irritates the lungs in the same manner as ragweed, birch, and oak pollen does for those allergic to them, he said.
Good night.
So right off the bat, there are those patients who would be increasingly susceptible to having a bronchospasm or cough because they have a more sensitive airway. And since a dry cough is a key sign of COVID-19, any cough caused by smoking a joint of weed could easily mimic that symptom, making diagnosis more difficult.
Good night.
So if I could,
Cuz.
what he's saying is, if you smoke weed, and because of you smoking weed, you have something like COPD, or you have just these bad coughs.
Cuz.
Now, in a pandemic like what we're in, you're coughing. You don't know whether the cough is coming from the fact that you are just a pothead,
Right.
or if you actually have COVID-19.
Good.
Now, when you go to the damn hospital to get assessed, now they have to figure out if your diagnosis, if what you're coughing from is the COVID virus, or if it's because you're just a pothead and you like to smoke all the damn time.
Good.
So now it's making it hard for doctors to figure out what's going on. You over here dying, and we don't know if you're dying from smoking pot or if you're dying from, the coronavirus. That's what's crazy about it.
Good night. And slice if I can.
Good.
And you know who Esau is going to choose first over everybody. If he has to choose between one of his people or your people, he's going to choose his. So like he was saying, like you don't even know if it's the weed or if they really had a coronavirus. He just gonna send you back home.
Right, exactly.
He gonna send you right back home with the coronavirus around your children, and now they're gonna get it.
Yeah, he gonna treat you for bronchitis, but you might have the coronavirus. You don't even damn it know.
Good night. And y'all telling us, and black people that smoking weed, Latinos smoking weed, and Native Americans smoking weed are saying that smoking weed is nothing wrong with it. But look at what the Most High is doing right now. The COVID-19 is from the Most High. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to show our people that smoking these drugs and going to these churches and doing all these things it's nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? You seen how he's dealing with the pastors in these churches. He shut the churches down. He stopped Easter from happening. He stopped the St. Patrick's parade from happening up there in New York. Now he's finna put an end to that weed smoking, man. He's going to force you to stop having to smoke that weed. You know what I'm saying? You think you're going to be able to continue to smoke weed and the Most High is going to allow you to do it? Man, the doctors ain't even going to know if you dying or if you just got bronchitis. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And this is what, I got a verse too, I don't want to go pull from 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 19. It says,
I'll get it for you.
okay, come on, sir. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to smoke and get high, man. The doctors are telling you, man, that smoking weed is going to make it harder for you, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like
6 and 13.
6 and 19, I don't want.
6 and 19.
Come on, sir.
1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 19. What know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, which is in you, which ye have of God, and ye are not of your own?
Damn right. Like you up here smoking this weed and what everybody's saying, it's my body. I can smoke all I want to. Your body doesn't belong to you. Your body is a temple, which is supposed to be holy to the Most High. You're not supposed to be smoking weed and destroying it. You're not supposed to be sitting up here smoking cigarettes and tobacco, man. Because the only thing you're doing is destroying the temple, which is supposed to be holy to the Most High, man. Only thing you're doing is getting high and making it harder for these doctors to have to do their damn jobs, man. Like, I forgot who that was that told me about that sister who said her son died in New Orleans, I think, or Louisiana somewhere, because he was smoking weed and he had the coronavirus and died. You know what I'm saying? Like, good night, man. That weed ain't that important, man. You know what I'm saying? It's sad to say, man, but a lot of our people gonna have to learn the hard way when it comes to this, man. A lot of our people gonna continue to smoke this weed and continue to get high, not knowing that the Most High doesn't want you to pollute your temple like that, man. Your body's supposed to be clean, man. Not supposed to be putting cigarettes in it and all of these things.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? The brother said the Most High knows what is best for us. Damn right. He knows that smoking is going to kill you. He knows this, man.
Yeah, I'm right.
The Most High already knew this before we was even here. Smoking cigarettes, smoking weed, celebrating 420, all of it is wickedness, man. You're worshiping another God and killing yourself at the same time, man.
Yeah, I'm right.
It's like, damn, you're just screwing yourself worse and worse. And the Most High is going to make it to the point now, like, you smoking weed with your kids in the house, and now your kids going to take a chance of getting it, man. Now your kids going to take a chance of getting the coronavirus. Because now they're having to inhale this cigarette smoke, this weed smoke, and now their lungs are getting weak. So if you do get the coronavirus and the doctor sends you back home, now your kids might can catch it because they have a weak immune system. They got weak lungs. You know what I'm saying? And that's why the UPK says, man, put the drugs down, man, and come in the truth. Come in the ISUPK underneath Commander General Yohana and learn this truth, man.
Yeah, I'm right.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be able to smoke no weed in here. You ain't gonna be able to celebrate no 420 in here. Brothers are gonna tell you the truth because we care about you, man. We don't want to see you dying in the streets like nothing because you want to smoke a blunt, or see your children catch the coronavirus because you want to smoke cigarettes and smoke weed. You know what I'm saying? Pretty sure we all done seen it before when you got the family members or even sisters, man. Like you might talk to a sister back in the day and she's smoking weed, y'all smoking weed sitting in the house, and she got kids running back and forth in the house, and she just go sit down somewhere. Good night. And the only thing they're doing is inhaling all of this, inhaling the weed, making their lungs weak, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why we got to put the drugs down, man, and come back in this truth, man, which is in the ISUPK underneath Commander General Yohana, man.
Yeah, I'm right.
Slack, so you want me to close that out? No.
God, it's out the door.
Con. And with that, man, we're going to close out the class, man. I'm going to read these announcements for you. ISUPK security announcements. We got an ISUPK started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves of the word. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21. Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10, means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'asharah. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or the teacher. Priest fund, free will and offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming Holy Convocation, which is the Passover, which you're waiting to hear back from about the Passover. Remind Akim and Akwak to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, and hairband. And with that, shalom.
I just saw there where a sister was